David Rodgers here again with the Ethernet Alliance. I'm here with Michelle Havard, who is, I did pronounce that correct, right?
Correct.
Okay. Michelle is the logistical coordinator behind these events with respect to making certain that this comes off without a hitch. And it's not an inconsequential task that you have undertaken and allowed us to come here. So what are some of the challenges that you've addressed, Michelle, with respect to hosting us in these plugfests?
Okay, good question. Well, the hosting definitely starts with planning, and planning is just a very big task. And what we do is we do everything from the electrical distribution all the way to figuring out all the test stations that are coming as members join. And the electrical needs to be planned. The test station personnel needs to be planned. What test stations we have, looking closely at the test plan and all the measurements that need to be done, all the personnel that need to be assigned, and then just the logistics in terms of people coming in from all over the world. Those attendees need to be registered within Keysight.
You have to do your background checks.
Background check, ITAR compliance.
Exactly.
And so all of that needs to be vetted out early, and just a myriad of logistics.
How many folks do you have from the Keysight team that are here helping support you for this? I know several of them myself, but overall, what number would you put on the Keysight people that you've got working here for you?
I would say between 20 and 25.
Just to be able to make certain to envelope this thing and make it come off the ground properly and do all the stuff that you just talked about, the hand holding of the logistics and bringing equipment in. Mm-hmm. Of course, the most important thing is lunch. You're feeding. We had, how many attendees did we have this week overall?
86.
86. So that's not an inconsequential amount when you consider some of the conference rooms. These are not huge lab spaces. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I know we've talked about in the past with respect to setting up power in that one main room that we have the interop testing going on. You're dropping in 220 volt or 3-phase or a variety of different things depending upon the pieces of equipment that are coming in. So
correct.
That's not, having the facilities guys involved in that as well is mm-hmm. certainly a big deal. Mm-hmm. This is an NDA event, and yes. As an engineering event, unlike the interoperability demonstrations, that you have also been a tech lead for the public demonstrations at OF Optical Fiber Conference and mm-hmm. ECOC. This is a private event. It's under NDA. The fact that we're recording this is being done very selectively and very carefully to make sure we don't get anything out there that mm-hmm. shouldn't be out there. There's a lot of pre-release and yes. product that is still under test. Tell me a little bit about what you're doing or what is required for you to do to make certain that people feel comfortable bringing their stuff here. We have an NDA, but NDA is only as good as the paper that it's written on. So how are we making certain that people are comfortable?
Okay, very good question, because it's a process. The comfortability is certainly a process that companies and individuals go through. As you mentioned, people are bringing in leading edge product, many cases unreleased product. And so that comfortability really needs to be vetted early. So what we do is we really just highlight the confidentiality, that pictures are not posted all over LinkedIn.
Yep.
That every member that is coming understands the confidentiality agreement. They understand that what happens in the lab, so to speak, stays in the lab. And the other thing that we really stress is and highlight is interoperability and furthering the standards and the specs, because everything out of all this testing just furthers adoption.
Yep.
And so if that person or that company is represented well and they're comfortable, they know that their overall product and their company is highlighted
yep.
for the market.
And the test results that are brought about, each company gets their own specific test results. They're not mm-hmm. not everybody's looking at everybody else's. There is a general report that the Ethernet Alliance will produce that is the overall health of the ecosystem as it relates to what came out of this particular Plugfest.
Right.
But if Keysight has specific equipment in this kit, in this build, and there's some things about that equipment that are either challenging or need help or are really good, only Keysight gets that report as a product of this. So that goes to your confidentiality. Mm-hmm. people are in a safe space. The engineers are working well with each other to solve these problems. So I think that's needs to be highlighted, that folks are getting the information they need and it's not going elsewhere.
That's correct. That's correct. So the comfortability is key, and also at the end of the day, we want everyone to finish the week getting what they want to get out of the event, which is massive amounts of data.
Michelle, we put these things on. We put them on repeatedly, sometimes twice, maybe 3 times a year, depending upon whether we've had an IEEE or some other group has wanted us to do this.
Right.
What's the lead time on getting these things started? When should people expect to hear from the Ethernet Alliance that this is going to happen and get involved?
I would say months in advance.
6 months. I know we start the planning calls with the HSN, so the High Speed Networking Group, or any of the other committees have these planning calls on the regular. But 6 months is a fair start time for you for these things.
I would say 6 months. Yes, we've got to reserve the facilities and all the logistics we talked about before. So. 6 months is the key to start, and then as the event gets closer, you and I both know that we're continuing to promote and bring more members in, and so it's an ongoing effort. And we want to get as many people here as possible to promote the industry and promote all the testing.
And the test plans themselves, I think Sam may have alluded to it earlier. Sam Johnson alluded to the fact that the test plans are evolving up until the last minute.
Yes.
So even at the beginning of this week, depending upon what products people brought, the companies where the test plan may be modified at the last minute, but the overall focus, it's the logistics to get it done. This just doesn't just happen out of thin air. So.
No. The test plans are prepared well in advance, and as you said, they're ongoing. We have weekly meetings, and there are many contributors to the test plan.
Key to that, is it's not just one person saying this is what we're going to test. Different companies, John, Calvin, Michelle's colleague here at Keysight leads a lot of the signal integrity testing, and therefore has some ideas that have come up, and we bounce those off of other members in the test community or other people that have, a stake in this, saying, well, can we modify it to incorporate this feature or this other aspect of your test arc? So it is a community that is developing it, certainly.
And the other thing I want to mention about the test plan that is very comprehensive is it covers optical and electrical.
Yes.
So when we test here, we're working in both domains, very deep with very comprehensive test plans.
Michelle, thank you, and to you personally, as a friend and somebody who's put this stuff together, and to Keysight overall and your management for letting you do what you do to make this thing happen. Thank you very much.
Thank you.